Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Bruce Cadle, and I'm so glad to have you participating in our seminar, How to Grow Your Business Through Free Publicity. I'm here in Melbourne, Florida, on the east coast of Florida, just south of the Kennedy Space Center. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here today, beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and I hope it's great weather where you are. Hope you're having a great day so far. I'm really excited about the variety of businesses that are joining us for this seminar today. We've really got all different types of businesses tuning in for this training, and I'm excited for you because I know that what you're about to learn is going to help you get more customers, more clients, more patients, or more sales. And I want to encourage you to make sure and watch the entire training, because at the end I'm going to give you some free resources that can help you start getting free publicity right away. Well, this seminar is for you today. If your business is struggling and you need to generate some income as quickly as possible, or maybe your business is good but it's just not growing the way you want it to, maybe your monthly overhead keeps going up and your profits keep going down, and you need a way to attract some new business. Or maybe you've just been spending lots of money on advertising, but you're not sure if it's getting you any real results. Maybe you've tried things like Google AdWords or Facebook ads, but you've lost more money than you've made. Or maybe you've spent lots of time promoting your business on social media sites like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, but you haven't gotten any new customers to show for it. Maybe you've got a great business, a great product, or a great service, and you just know that it'd be really successful if you could just find a way to get the word out. Or maybe you just want to get more people to visit your website or walk through the doors of your store or into your office. Or maybe you're trying to find a way just to stand out above your competition. Well, free publicity can help you overcome all of those challenges. I love these quotes from Barbara Corcoran. Barbara is a multimillionaire real estate investor. She appears frequently on the Today Show as their resident real estate advisor, and she's co-star of one of my favorite shows, ABC's hit show Shark Tank. Barbara says it's in the worst of times that publicity is your very best friend. And one of the reasons for that is because publicity is free. So no matter how tough things are for you right now, no matter how low your bank balance may be, you can apply these free principles that I'm going to teach you today and get free publicity. I love this quote. The most effective way to build a brand is not by spending millions in advertising, but by finding a clever way to keep your name in the press. And here's one more. Publicity is the easiest and cheapest way to have your business step apart from the crowd. And that's really what you're going to learn today, how to keep your name in the press and how to stand out above your competition. I'm going to show you the quickest and the easiest ways to get free publicity on an ongoing basis. Now, just a quick disclaimer, none of the things that I'm going to teach you today involve any kind of publicity stunts or gimmicks or anything like that. I'm going to teach you proven strategies that can help you get lots of free publicity for yourself, for your products, your services, or your business. I'm going to teach you 3 simple types of media releases that help you become recognized as an expert in your field. They increase your visibility online, and they can get you local or national publicity, newspaper, magazine, radio, TV, whatever you decide to kind of target for your business. I'm going to give you as much information as I can during our limited time together. This training is only going to last about 35 minutes. You know, I know a lot of people give an hour, 2 hours, and that's just hard. You're running a business. It's just hard to take that much time. So I've really tried to condense this down and put as much information as possible in as short a time as possible. But I will promise that at the end, I'll show you how to take this further. Let me introduce myself. Again, my name is Bruce Cadle. We'll dive into the training in just a minute, but I just want to let you know who I am. I'm not a movie star. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just an ordinary small business owner, just like you. But I've gotten millions of dollars worth of free publicity for myself, for my businesses, and for organizations that I've led. And if I can do this, anybody can do this. I mean, honestly, I'm amazed that I've gotten millions of dollars worth of free publicity. And I'm shocked how easy it's been. And I'm really excited because I can teach you exactly what I've done, and I can show you how you can do it, how you can apply these same methods to your business. So you can get lots of free publicity too. Well, I've been featured or quoted or profiled or appeared in thousands of newspapers, magazines, websites, radio, and TV shows in over 20 different countries. Here's just a few of them: The Today Show, Fox and Friends, CNN, ABC, CBS, MSNBC. I've been on British broadcasting. They sent people all the way here to Melbourne, Florida to interview me. I've been on National Public Radio, iHeartRadio, newspapers like USA Today, New York Times, Washington Post, the LA Times, Chicago Sun-Times, even been in Rolling Stone magazine. Didn't get my picture on the cover, but I was in Rolling Stone magazine. I'm also a featured expert on About.com, eHow.com, and Selfgrowth.com. And again, I'm going to teach you the exact same simple strategies that I've used to get all of those interviews so that you can get that kind of publicity too. Before we talk about how to get publicity, let me take just a minute to talk about the difference between advertising and publicity. You know, advertising costs money. It costs lots and lots of money. But publicity, at least the kind of publicity I'm going to teach you today, is free. I mean, you can certainly hire a public relations company, or you can hire a personal publicist, or you can spend hundreds of dollars to have online companies distribute press releases for you. But the things that I'm going to teach you today are all things that anyone can do, and they're all absolutely free to use, free to implement. You know, another difference is that advertising has a short life. I mean, the second your commercial runs on the radio or TV, it's gone. Or the day after your newspaper ad runs, it gets thrown in the trash. But publicity builds your brand. It creates a consumer awareness about who you are and what you have to offer. You know, I had a media release, just one release, that stayed on the New York Times website for over 20 years, because the type of publicity that I'm going to teach you about can all be placed online and stay there for year after year after year, continuing to get you more publicity. You know, advertising tells people what you have to sell, but publicity tells people who you are and what you can do for them, what you have to offer them. Advertising is kind of adversarial. People know you're trying to sell them, and so their guard goes up. But publicity is relational. They really get to know you. They really get to hear someone else talking about you or interviewing you. And so it begins that relationship that's so vital in order to grow your business. And with advertising, you've got a battle for competition among all your competitors. But publicity puts you in the spotlight. It makes you the center of attention. You know, your potential clients or customers or patients place far more credibility on publicity than advertising. And let me just prove that to you. If I were to ask you who's the most famous doctor in America, who's the first person that comes to your mind? Well, I bet it's one of these guys, isn't it? It's either Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz. Now, Dr. Phil isn't famous because of his family counseling practice. And Dr. Oz isn't famous because he's a heart surgeon. They're both famous because of publicity. Here's another example. Let me tell you about a guy named Mike. Mike owns 2 retail stores. One of them's in Nashville, Tennessee. It's less than 3,000 square feet. But Mike's store, it gets almost 4,000 shoppers every single week, all because of publicity. Mike used to own a small bicycle shop kind of out in the middle of nowhere in Iowa, and people would come to his shop and they'd tell him about old bikes that they'd seen in barns. So Mike would go check out the old bikes, he'd buy them, and then he'd take them back to his shop and sell them. Well, he thought people might be interested in what he was doing, so he started videotaping his explorations of these old barns and old farms and the stuff that he'd find in them and the places that he'd go and the people that he'd meet. And then finally, he sold that idea to a TV production company. It took him 4 years of trying to get somebody interested, but finally, a TV production company bought the story idea. Now, Mike's show, American Pickers, has over 5 million viewers every week. And almost 4,000 shoppers walk into just one of his 2 retail stores. In fact, Mike's net worth is now estimated at $4 million, all because of publicity. Now, you may not have any interest in having your own TV show, but the same principles, the same types of publicity that made Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz and Mike Wolf famous can help you become a brand name in your town, in your community, so that you can attract lots of new business. I'm going to show you exactly what to do to get free publicity on an ongoing basis. And the methods I'm about to teach you are the quickest and the easiest ways to get local or national publicity. These methods work for publicity in newspapers or magazines, radio talk shows, TV shows, news interviews, social media, blogs. Anyone can follow these methods. And everything I'm going to teach you will help you get free publicity. And these are proven methods. These are honestly the exact things that I've done to get millions of dollars worth of free publicity. So the quickest and the easiest way to get publicity is through media releases. Now, media releases are kind of like press releases on steroids. You know, back in the day, the press releases were printed on paper, then they were mailed to newspapers to let them know about some upcoming event. But media releases go out electronically. They go to newspapers, magazines, radio, and TV stations. They go to blogs, social media, other websites. And media releases aren't complicated. I mean, they can just be one page of written content. Or you get to add pictures, or you can add audio files, or video, or other social media links. I'm not going to spend much time talking to you about the format of media releases, because at the end of the seminar, I'm going to give you a free download that explains exactly how to format media releases. But if you've ever used old style press releases, or maybe you had a publicist or a PR firm issue press releases for you, it was probably for one of two purposes. It was probably either to announce a special event, like the grand opening of a new location of your business or your business's anniversary, and that may have gotten you a 1 or 2 paragraph blurb in your local paper, maybe a small picture. Or maybe you issued a press release to announce an award that you received, or some new accreditation, or attendance at a major conference. Doctors, attorneys, realtors, and other professionals use those kind of releases a lot. And those types of old press releases usually just result in a couple paragraphs in your newspaper. And they'll usually include a headshot if you provide one. But the problem is, the old style press releases just don't get you much coverage. And they're usually buried in the business section of the newspaper, along with lots of other similar blurbs about your competitors. So unless your potential customers read the business section, turn to page 19, and find your little blurb, then you're probably not going to see any increase in sales. But the media releases that I'm going to teach you about, the things I'm going to teach you to use, have gotten me major coverage in the biggest newspapers and TV shows in the country. The first type of media release that I'm going to talk to you about is the branding media release. And it can help you become recognized as a local or even national expert in your field, so that newspaper reporters, radio talk show hosts, TV show producers, magazine columnists, and editors will come to you asking you for an interview. The second type of media release I'm going to teach you is internet media releases. And the internet media releases increase your audience by giving you lots of visibility online, and they can drive lots of traffic to your website. And the third type of media release is the story media release that can get you front page articles in local community papers and kind of weekly newspapers and local magazines and local TV coverage. And then after we look at those 3 types of media releases, I'm going to teach you the best ways to distribute your media releases so that you can magnify your message, so that you can get it out there and keep it out there. Well, let's start with what I call branding media releases. Branding media releases position you as an expert in your field of expertise, in your area of business. I've seen these work for everything from landscapers to lawyers, from bakers to physical trainers, doctors, and authors. Here's a great example. Instead of just selling air and water purifiers, Ron and Lisa Burris have branded themselves as healthy home experts. And so they offer helpful advice and tips to help people have a healthier home. Now that leads to sales of their products, sales of their books, but they approach this by branding themselves as experts, and experts with helpful advice that can really benefit people. And so because of that branding, they've been on the Today Show, I don't know how many times now. They've been on the Doctor Show, Rachel Ray Show, Fox News, NBC Nightly News, Red Book Magazine, and hundreds of other TV shows, radio shows, magazines, and newspapers. I first started using branding releases back in the early 1990s when I led a local nonprofit organization. But branding releases work for just any type of business. They work just as well. I mentioned that I live on the east coast of Florida, so I started sending media releases to all my local newspapers, local radio stations, and then the Orlando area TV stations. And each media release was focused on a short statement from me, kind of just sharing my perspective on any news item that was related to the cause that my organization was involved in. I was positioning myself as someone with something to say about specific topics. And I'd get a response or two. Occasionally somebody would call wanting to interview me. But before long, something changed because I kept sending out these media releases, just giving my perspective on specific issues. Because I started doing that on a regular basis, all of a sudden I started getting calls from reporters and TV news crews asking for my response, not based on a media release I'd sent out, but asking for my response on some breaking news that I hadn't even sent a release out on. In fact, a couple times I hadn't even heard the news yet, but they called and they said, we want to get your perspective on this. Here's a national news story. We want to get a local spin. We want to talk to a local expert. They assumed that because I had issued media releases, just sharing my perspective in the past over and over and over, they assumed that I'd have something to say about the stories they were covering. And so those media releases and the hundreds upon hundreds of interviews they resulted in positioned me as a local expert. All the TV reporters from Orlando, Florida, about an hour away from me, but they all had me on speed dial. They constantly called me asking for interviews. And let me just tell you, there's a huge difference between being a guest on a TV talk show, which is great, and I've done lots of them. But there's a huge difference between being a guest on a TV talk show and being interviewed in the news, because the news gets repeated over and over and over. I mean, in Orlando, the NBC affiliate starts showing news at 4 o'clock. And then they repeat it at 4:30, and they repeat it at 5, and they repeat it at 5:30, and they repeat it at 6, and they repeat it at 11 o'clock that night, and they repeat it again the next morning. And so your story, when you're interviewed, it gets played over and over and over and over and gets you major exposure. I mean, that same amount of airtime, even on a local TV station, would cost you easily tens of thousands of dollars for every interview that you do. And local newspapers and local TV stations just love having a local expert as kind of a go-to guest, somebody that they can count on to give a local perspective on breaking news. This is perfect for lawyers, realtors, politicians, healthcare professionals. If you own a retail business or a restaurant, or you're involved with a nonprofit organization, this is perfect for you. Branding media releases, and by the way, don't call them that to news people. Their goal isn't to make you a brand name. They're just looking for somebody to interview. But when you become a go-to guest, when you just build a relationship with these folks in the media, and you do a great job of sharing your perspective, just sharing your opinions and your voice, they love being able to just call you, not to have to search and find, who am I going to talk to about this? They've got you on their cell. They'll text you, they'll call you, and they'll contact you over and over again. But media, branding media releases, never should be more than just a page. And they can be as short as just 3 or 4 paragraphs. And the most important part of a branding media release is the headline. Author David Zinzenko came up with a headline: "Eat this, not that." It immediately grabs your attention. It became a book, and then that led to 14 books that all became New York Times bestsellers. David has sold more than 10 million copies of his books. He's built a multi-million-dollar brand, all based on branding himself as the "eat this, not that" expert. And he offers helpful tips related to his field. I'm working on something that I think is going to be a lot more popular than David's Eat This, Not That. I'm working on Eat This and That. I mean, doesn't that just, I think a lot more people are interested in finding out how you can eat this and that. Well, seriously, your headline to a branding media release needs to grab people's attention. The best way to write a great headline is to go to yahoo.com. Just scroll down their homepage and notice that the type of headlines their stories use. When you go to Yahoo, you'll see national news, local news, you'll see sports and celebrity news, you'll see human interest stories, but they all use brief, attention-getting headlines. Now, for the content of a branding media release, just give your perspective on one topic. Just pick one topic, one issue that's related to your business, related to your expertise, and be sure you provide your contact information. You know, here's an example. If you're in the real estate business or banking business, then issue a media release directly to your local media and share your perspective every time interest rates change, every time housing sales numbers are released locally, regionally, or nationally. Just tell your perspective on that. You know you've got an opinion. We all sit around and talk about things related to our business, whether it's politics, whether it's different business laws that are passing, whether it's trends and among consumers, whatever it is. We've all got opinions, and this is a way for you just to share your opinion quickly, simply, over and over, and it will get you tons and tons of publicity. And listed here on this slide is 4 easy ways to get just a continuous source of topics that you can use for your media releases. Google has a free service called Google Alerts. You can choose any word or any phrase related to your business and instantly see all the latest related content from online news, websites, blogs, videos, books, and even discussion groups. You can also get ongoing alerts sent to you anytime any of the words or phrases that you choose appear online. And Google will email you links to all the content, all the online articles. You can choose to get alerts as they happen, or once a day, or once a week. Mention.com is a similar service. They'll give you up to 250 online mentions per month of any word or topic that you choose. They have paid options beyond 250, but they're free plans, all that you'll need. If you're tech savvy, you'll probably like Feedly.com. It's a little bit different. You can choose to collect content on specific subjects or from specific websites related to your field and kind of get an ongoing feed from that. And then one way, if you want to be really current, is to go to yahoo.com, and in the top right-hand corner of their homepage is a section called Trending Now, and that'll show you the most popular topics that are trending online as of that minute. I haven't gotten to work with you yet. I don't know your situation, but I'd suggest just starting with Google Alerts, and don't worry with the others unless you need more topics to comment on. So, branding media releases position you as an expert by giving you the opportunity to share your perspective on any news related to your business. Branding media releases are designed to be sent directly to your local media, and I'll explain how to do that in a few minutes. Branding media releases help make members of your local media aware of who you are and what you have to say. They can get you some interviews in the short term. In the long term, they'll help you become a go-to guest so the media contacts you over and over again. I've used branding media releases locally and gotten hundreds of local interviews, but those local interviews are all what led to my national media. For example, because I did lots of interviews with my local Fox station, Fox News nationally noticed that. And so Fox and Friends, a national show, covered me. Because I did lots of interviews with the NBC station, WESH in Orlando, the Today Show called me and asked me to be a guest. People say, how'd you get on the Today Show? Very, very simple. They called, I said yes. But the reason they called isn't because I tried to contact the Today Show. They didn't know who I was if I just contacted them cold. But they contacted me because their affiliate interviewed me over and over and over. And that positioned me as an expert, as somebody that would be a good guest for them to have on the Today Show. Because a local newspaper interview that I did once got picked up by Associated Press, within 2 weeks, 200 websites, radio stations, TV shows, and newspapers, including the New York Times and Washington Post, covered my story. Because I did lots of interviews with my local Gannett newspaper, USA Today has interviewed me multiple times. So branding media releases that are just sent to your local media are a really big deal. Now we're going to speed things up now and talk about internet media releases. And Simon Brody uses internet media releases for his pet business. And one of his releases resulted in over 100,000 hits to his company's website, over 100 radio interviews. He got newspaper press in every country, and he got national and international TV interviews and broadcasts. Now, internet media releases aren't sent to your local media outlets. They're actually posted online. They're distributed through services like prlog.com and pr.com. Internet media releases can use the same content as your branding releases with just a couple tweaks because they have an entirely different purpose. The main purpose of internet media releases is to increase your audience online, have more and more people find you on the internet. And so internet media releases utilize SEO principles to help two different kinds of people find you: reporters and customers. Reporters who are researching a topic or they're looking for someone to interview can find your internet media release because they've Googled that topic. Potential customers or clients or patients who are looking for your products or your services can find your internet media releases. Now, internet media releases can be longer than branding releases, but they don't have to be. The only tweaks you need to make is to integrate keywords related to your product or service in the release so that people searching for those keywords will find your press release, your media release online. Here's an example. Let's say that parents in Orlando, Florida are looking for a pediatrician. So what do? Well, they don't go to the yellow pages. They go to Google. They Google something like pediatrician in Orlando. And they'll see lots of different results. Most of them are links to doctors' websites, but then they also see a media release about a local pediatrician. Well, that grabs their attention. It's so different from the other search results. So they click on the release. They get to read about the doctor and his perspective on children's health issues. Maybe they learn about awards that he's received. The media releases give the doctor tremendous credibility, so they call his office and they schedule his appointment. Whether you have a website that basically just tells people about your business, or maybe you sell products or services online, internet media releases can drive lots of highly targeted traffic, lots of highly qualified prospective customers to your website. And so the reason for that is that internet media releases should always include links to your website. Well, now let's talk about story media releases. I think these are the easiest and the most fun. Remember I said that the old type press releases usually only get you a couple paragraphs on page 19 of your paper? Well, I've used story media releases to get front page feature articles in local newspapers multiple times, and you can too, but it involves a completely different type of media release. Now, let me just give a disclaimer here. Don't use this strategy for national newspapers or national magazines or TV. It won't work. In fact, you'll make them mad. But this works really well for community newspapers, things like hometown news, maybe free weekly papers in your area. And instead of using the format that I talked about for branding releases or internet media releases, you want to write this release as if you were writing a newspaper story. In this case, you're actually just interviewing yourself. So write it in the third person. Include quotes from you, include pictures. Here's an example where I submitted a story media release to a popular local community newspaper here in my area, and they adapted it slightly, but they ran it on the front page. Here's another example to promote a seminar I did for authors. I wrote the headline, the story, and I submitted my headshot. They ran everything exactly as I submitted it, and the seminar was standing room only. Now, I've used media releases for events, for human interest stories, general feature stories. They really work for almost anything. And the reason that the story media release strategy works is because newspapers, especially smaller community newspapers, are severely understaffed and underfunded. Many of them use freelancers that may only get paid $25 to $50 for every story they write. So if you submit not just a release, but it's like an article that they can use, then they don't have to assign a reporter or a photographer. You made their job easier, and that is a huge key in getting lots of free publicity. Go grab a copy of your local paper, look for an article about someone in your field, a product or a service similar to yours, and just notice the format that the reporter used. And then write a story, press release, media release based on your story or your brand, and then submit it to the editor of the specific section of the paper that targets your topic. Start with the smallest paper in your town. I've discovered that even the free weekly papers that get delivered maybe to everybody's mailbox in town, they get tons of attention. People really read those, and they'll lead to lots more customers for you. I love Robert Kiyosaki's story. Robert wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but he couldn't get a publisher, so he published the book himself. He ordered 1,000 copies. He hired a publicist, and after paying $10,000, all he got was one radio interview on a very small college radio station. So Robert fired his publicist. He enrolled in a coaching program to learn how to get publicity on his own. And Robert got lots and lots of publicity. Rich Dad, Poor Dad went on to sell 26 million copies. So we've talked about branding media releases and internet media releases and story media releases. Now let's talk about how to distribute your media releases so that you can magnify your message. Trisha Anderson distributed releases every month to promote an odor removal product. I mean, kind of an obscure product, but one of her releases got the attention of a small national magazine. They did a story on her product, and Trisha told me she got 4,000 calls, emails, faxes, and letters from interested customers. So here's how to distribute your media releases. We talked earlier about sending branding releases to local media. And so for radio or TV stations, just go to their website and look for the contact button or the link. You'll probably see a submit news story option, or maybe a contact form or an email address that you can use, and just email your branding release. But always put your release in an email. Never attach it to an email, or it'll probably get blocked. For newspapers, it's important that you target the appropriate reporter or the editor for the type story that you're submitting. So look at the online edition of the paper that you want to contact, then look for the section of that paper that your business relates to. And at the end of each article, you'll probably see the reporter's name and their email. And so you can send it directly to them or to their editor. Some newspapers actually have a form to submit media releases through, and if they do, then go ahead and use their form. Joanna Penn sent out a media release for her book to her local newspaper. They ran this article, city of 4.5 million people, and then this article led to a TV interview. It led to a blog post in an online magazine. It led to a follow-up profile piece in the same newspaper, and then it led to a feature article in a different a free newspaper that had a daily reach of 671,000 readers, all because of one media release sent to her local newspaper. Now, when you distribute your internet media releases, first you want to put them on Google+. I've had releases that I posted on Google+, and they've ranked on the front page of Google when people were searching within 24 hours. I mean, it's just amazing. Internet media releases, some of them charge anywhere from $99 to $499 just to distribute one release. But two of them, the top two that offer free options that I recommend are PR.com and PRlog.com. PR.com won't let you add images or video to your release without paying an extra fee, but PRlog.com will allow you to add images and video at no extra charge, absolutely free. If your story has big potential, you can submit it to Associated Press. If you go to ap.org, you'll see a list of their regional contacts, so you can contact their reporter that's closest to you. And always put all of your releases on your own website as well. That'll help you attract more traffic to your website. It'll also, if there's members of the media thinking of interviewing you or researching a topic, they'll see that on your website and get to know you better. And as you begin getting interviews, you want to start building your own database for direct media contacts so that you'll have relationships with people that instead of just using a service to send it out to everyone, you can start sending things directly to people that have interviewed you in the past, and they're far more likely than to interview you again in the future. Dale Calvert taught his sales force to use media releases about 10 years ago and estimates they've received $1 million worth of free newspaper publicity. Drew Brophy is an artist who uses media releases, and he gets lots of publicity in California in magazines and on TV shows. Deborah Ladig uses releases to get publicity for her general store, and she only sells products made in the USA, so that's kind of her interesting headline, her hook that she can use to get attention. Now, remember, nothing I've shared with you today is theory or stuff that might work. This is exactly what I've done to get millions of dollars worth of free publicity. These strategies work for authors, realtors, lawyers, dentists, chiropractors, other healthcare professionals. These strategies work for retail store owners, restaurateurs, network marketers, and other entrepreneurs. You can decide whether you want to target newspapers, radio, local or national, whatever you want. These methods work for all types of medias in all areas. See, here's the key, and you may be saying, well, Bruce, I'm not that exciting. Why would anybody want to interview me? Well, here's the deal. Every newspaper, magazine, radio, or TV station depends on advertising to make money. And the only way they can sell advertising is if they have readers or listeners or viewers. And the way they get readers or listeners or viewers is by constantly providing fresh content. They need you. They need your story, your tips, your perspective. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you've got an established business. You've got something to say, and your story will be of interest to the media. And as you start telling your story through media releases, you'll get free publicity that can take your business to the next level. Now, as a reminder, this is all about growing your business by attracting new customers, new clients, new patients. I'm not sure why you showed up here today. Maybe your advertising costs keep going up and you're not getting the results you used to get. Maybe you can't afford to advertise at all, but you've got to do something to get the word out about your business. Maybe your business isn't very strong and you really need to find some new customers. Or maybe you're sick and tired of working long, hard hours, but you're making less and less profit. Whatever your reason for coming here today, I'm guessing that you're ready to try something new to grow your business. I know you probably don't want to go back to business as usual. You don't want to continue to watch your net profit shrink month after month. Imagine what would happen if just a local newspaper featured you in a front page article. Imagine how many new customers you might get if people would hear you being interviewed on local talk radio and see you on local TV shows. Well, if there's one thing to take away from this training, it's that I've cracked the code on getting free publicity. And I don't have any superpowers. Everything I've done can be duplicated by you to help you get lots of free publicity for your business. Free publicity really can help you get new customers, clients, and patients. And free publicity helps you keep your existing customers because they're seeing you interviewed. It increases their respect for you, their admiration for you when they read about you in the paper, when they see you interviewed or hear you on the radio. So the obvious question is, how can you apply these strategies to your business so you can start getting more customers, clients, patients, or sales? Well, life is all about choices, and basically there's two choices for you today. You can take what I've shared with you. I hope it's been helpful. I know I've poured tons of information into a short period of time, so I hope you're not overwhelmed. But you can take what I've shared with you and you can put together your own publicity strategy, or I can come alongside you and quickly guide you through this whole process. I'm about to launch a 4-week coaching program where I'm going to work with just a small group of people, helping you implement the strategies that have gotten me on the Today Show, New York Times, and hundreds of other newspapers, radio, and TV shows. So what's my coaching program? Well, it's a complete step-by-step system. It's designed to take you by the hand and help you create the tools that you'll need for a continuous stream of free publicity. Here's how my coaching program works. Week 1, I'll show you exactly how to write your first branding release, how to position yourself as an expert, how to write great headlines. At the end of week 1, you'll have a finished professional quality branding media release. Week 2, I'll show you how to increase your visibility online through SEO. I'll teach you how to search engine optimize your media releases so that they rank well on Google, Yahoo, and Bing, so that reporters and customers can find you. I'll teach you how to add links in your media releases that point back to your website, and how to submit each release directly to the search engines. Week 3, I'll show you how to write a story media release, which I think are absolutely the easiest and the most fun. And then week 4, I'll show you how to set up free accounts, and I'll let you look over my shoulder as I submit media releases to Google+, to PR.com, and PRlog.com. A month from now, you can be getting free publicity and have a simple system in place that you can use over and over again to continue getting free publicity year after year after year. And in addition to the weekly training, I've got some bonuses for you. The first bonus is a private members-only Facebook group. I'll monitor that every weekday so you can ask any questions that you may have, and I'll give you custom guidance to kind of make sure that you're getting the biggest benefit possible. Second bonus is a resource package of media release templates. These are fill-in-the-blank templates that you can use to create your branding releases, your internet releases, and your story releases. And these media releases, the template package is valued at $99. Third bonus is a media database. It's got contacts with over 20,000 members of the media, local, national, newspapers, magazines, radio, and TV. And that media database alone is valued at $499. And then the final bonus is a directory of free media release services. I told you about PR.com and PRlog.com, but I'm going to give you a complete list of 50 free media release services so that you can find one that specializes maybe in your area of business and help you the most. And that list is a $99 value. So I know you're thinking, okay, Bruce, this sounds great, but what's the cost? What's the cost for this coaching program? So the total investment for all 4 weeks of coaching, the private daily support group, the fill-in-the-blank media release templates, the media database with over 20,000 contacts, and the free distribution list is only $399. And enrollment's limited because I want to be able to interact with you as much as possible over the next month. And I like to reward action. I love people who take action. So the first 10 people to enroll save 50%. So that's right. If you act now, the entire coaching program and all the bonuses are yours for only $199. I mean, think about what $199 gets you in terms of advertising. Might get you one very small ad in the newspaper for one day. Might get you 1 or 2 radio commercials. Or you can enroll in my coaching program and learn how to get free publicity for the rest of your life. Now, I know that you're going to love the coaching program. I know it'll be really valuable for you, but if for any reason you decide it's just not for you, that you just aren't interested in free publicity, for any reason you're not satisfied, I offer a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee because I want you to be satisfied. I want you to succeed. And also, if for some reason you miss some of the training, or maybe your schedule's kind of busy this next month, don't worry. Everything will be recorded, and you'll have lifetime access to all of the coaching, all of the training. Now, I will coach you step by step. And this coaching program really is the fastest and easiest way for you to start getting publicity. And it's the safest way because I'm going to teach you all of my proven strategies. No need for trial and error. No need to go out and make a bunch of mistakes. I've already made them for you, and I'll help you avoid them. So here's your next step. Here's what to do now. Just click on the yellow button under this video window. You'll see a secure order page, and you can click on checkout if you'd like to pay with a credit card, or you can click on PayPal if you'd like to use a PayPal account. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do hope this has been helpful. I look forward to getting to know you in my coaching program, and I look forward to helping you get lots and lots of free publicity. If you aren't interested in the coaching program, I still want you to have the free resources that I mentioned earlier. So just email me at bruce@perpetualpublicity.com. Tell me what kind of business you're in, and I'll send you a media release format guide, and I'll send you some other free resources that can really help you. Thanks again. I look forward to getting to know you, and we'll talk soon. God bless.